fans, welcome to the newest episode of the Bearded Gamer Show. As always, I'm your host, the Bearded Gamer, Chris Arnone, and look what we have here. I brought a friend, another Bearded Gamer. This is Matt Ashbaugh. Now, you may have seen him, or well, heard him, I should say, on some of the Dota 2 live streams that I've done in the past. So this is my partner in crime here, the other Bearded Gamer, and as you can see, you may get a clue what we're going to be talking about here, the Wii U. And this is going to be a debate. Why? Because, well, you've seen my videos. I make my point. I'm really not going to buy one right now. This guy already pre-ordered. He's in, man. He's a big Nintendo guy. So we're going to debate the merits and weaknesses of the Wii U. So first off, let's talk games, all right? So in my opinion, other than Super Mario, New Super Mario Bros. U, for core Nintendo fans, there's no other big game coming out at launch. Do you think Super Mario's enough?
Well, it's better than not having Mario. That usually hasn't done so awesome in the past for Nintendo. They've learned their lesson. And, you know, Nintendo Land, it's not terrible. It is kind of a planting of the seed. It is a lot of their first-party titles.
True. And they threw Metroid in there, which got a lot of cheers by having a Metroid minigame.
Really kind of introducing people who might not be completely familiar with all their properties, except for Star Fox for some reason.
Honestly, never sold that well, sadly.
And currently for North America, at least, we're not completely 100% sure what is and is not a launch day.
So what do you think in the launch window, other than Super Mario Bros. U, would really grab the core like yourself?
I'm very interested in the Rayman game coming out.
Well, that's not Nintendo. I'm talking core Nintendo.
Core Nintendo? Purely first-party Nintendo.
Because I know that appeals to you as the platformer fan.
Yeah. As a core gamer, that's what I'm focusing on. But as far as what is strictly first-party Nintendo, I'm actually blanking on anything that isn't Mario and Nintendo.
This is the problem. I mean, they've got a Pikmin title, but as you said, that's the third. It's not a big like Mario. It's not like Zelda. It's not like
quite
Metroid.
Honestly, I feel like it's a holdover. It's something that they were making for the Wii, and they just like, well, we got a new console. Let's Twilight Princess it and bring it on over for a launch for the new one because. I've been at E3, I tried to play the demo, they yanked that gamepad out of my hand and they're like, no, you're going to use the Motion Plus and the Nunchuck, this is the way to play it. And I'm like, okay. So
do you think Mario's enough? I mean, that is their flagship.
It's better than nothing.
That's very true. So let's talk about the gamepad utilization. And obviously with something like this, a new peripheral, there's going to be some games that use it really, really well, and some games that I'm afraid are underutilizing it. So let's talk about the utilizing it well. Now, purposely, I saw Black Ops 2. I think having that second player on their own screen is fantastic. And granted, we grew up on freaking GoldenEye, where there'd be four guys huddled around a 19-inch television split four ways. So doing two-player split screen on a 55-inch LED is like... whatever, but still having the idea where you can't even, well, the guy's sitting, I guess, here, unless they can look at each other while they're playing. One guy's looking past him. But, having their own screens, I think, is great. Nintendo Land, obviously, but that's like the tech demo.
It's a giant, it's basically their Wii Sports. It's going to be explaining how you can use this new thing to everybody. And it does it well from what I've played, but,
Yeah, and then, of course, the other obvious one, once again, to me, is Scribblenauts. It's like, well done. The reason that Scribblenauts is so successful on the DS is because of the two screens, because you draw on one and stuff happens on the top. So this is just that on a bigger scale.
It was actually the only game that I had to actually bust out the stylus. Yeah, you forgot. It has a stylus. You actually have to bust out the stylus because there's a lot of fine-tuned things you'll do on that touchpad for entering things and moving little pieces and coloring specific things. But, again, Rayman Legends is probably one of the better ones that I've seen do the gamepad because the person on the gamepad, they're doing completely different things. They're doing a bunch of touch-based stuff, and it is required to do that, or the person who's actually doing the platformer, they can't get through.
So you're going to get the wife involved?
Oh, yeah. The girlfriend mode. Because you cannot die when you're using the gamepad, but you can prevent the other person from going further. But, it's a nice feature, and I guess the P100's now been redubbed the Wonderful 101.
Wonderful 101.
That was my big surprise when I went to E3. It is, Platinum Games. It has a little bit of that Beautiful Joe kind of vibe, and it really does use the gamepad very well. It's all about you make a circle, you'll do one power. You make one thing, you do different shapes, you activate different powers, and you could have done that on a menu screen, but here you don't stop. You just keep going, you keep playing, you use the buttons, do stuff, you quickly go activate a big power, and it was a lot of fun, and I'm waiting for that one. Don't know when the hell it's coming out.
You're trying to sell this on me. I don't think it'll work. So let's talk about underutilizing. Now, I'm going to go to a third-party title. It's actually a game I love. I've talked about it a lot on my show,
Yeah.
Darksiders 2. I played it for PS3. I love the crap out of that game. But honestly, I thought they've sort of done the default third-party option for the Gamepad, which is we're going to put your map and your inventory screen here, have fun. And while it's nice, I'm sure, it'll be nice. It's easy, it's simple, and it's not a really great way to use that gamepad. So I know you got more, like maybe I didn't mention this, you got some hands-on time at E3 with the Wii U and some of these games. So what things did you see? Have you seen online, or did you actually see in person that you thought, I don't know if this is really using it that well?
Well, I'm seeing the Wii U as turning your TV into a big-ass 3DS.
Absolutely.
And
without the 3.
DS. Okay. Most people who've played DS titles know that typically the second screen is used as this is where all your information is, this is where all the HUD is, and so it doesn't have to be up on the actual screen. Some games that used it well was just the Ocarina of Time remake that let you quickly do all the inventory stuff without having to stop the game. But most of them use it for a map, and a map. But it's surprisingly nice to play something like a Metroidvania style game where you don't have to pause every time to figure out where the heck you are when you're running around. So I suspect we'll see that a lot more. It's the easiest option for people who are porting third-party titles around to just be like, what do I do with the second screen? Map.
And I think it's still nice. It can still be the thing that sort of, if you've got all the consoles and there's a new game coming out and you go, which one do I buy it on? And you go, oh, well, you got the map and the inventory on its own screen. That's kind of cool.
They have confirmed that you will be able to play Darksiders 2 completely on the gamepad, using that feature that somebody else wants to actually watch something on TV and you don't have to stop.
My TV. What are you talking about? Don't tell my girlfriend. All right. So, moving forward into franchises things that have not been announced in any way. Let me get that out of the way, okay? None of these have been announced in any way whatsoever. So don't misquote me, all right? Or do. Get me more viewers, whatever. But the idea is these are some franchises that I think absolutely have to be on the Wii U. And the first one, of course, I'm going to go with this because I was at the Nintendo press conference at E3 when they first announced it, and I said this in the live blog, Fatal Frame, okay? There's a camera on it. Okay, in Fatal Frame, you kill ghosts by taking pictures of them. Now think augmented reality. I want a game, a Fatal Frame, using a camera that's going to have me looking at my closet like it's trying to kill me for 2 weeks after I finish playing it. That's what I want.
That could actually happen, too.
But they didn't give us Fatal Frame 4, ever.
They don't think Americans want it. They don't think Americans actually like that franchise for some reason. Probably because nobody bought them.
And so that one I just... Please give us a Fatal Frame that uses all that stuff. Dungeons & Dragons, thank you, Penny Arcade. If any of you didn't read that, it's really funny. With the idea of having several players using Wii remotes and playing on screen and a dungeon master, with their gamepad. Yeah, that is pretty freaking brilliant.
Oh, yeah. And fingers crossed, if Nintendo or somebody else doesn't do it, the independent people on WiiWare or whatever will step up and do that.
Yeah, team up with Wizards of the Coast, and I mean it's a licensed product, so you've got a decreased cost for development because someone else is helping to pitch in. So you'd think that would just be a go-to, an easy one.
Oh yeah.
Any strategy game, period. In particular, okay, I'm gonna go Nintendo on this. Advance Wars. Mm-hmm. That would be cool. Bring it back. I think, using a stylus to say this unit goes here, this unit goes here, that's a really interactive way to use the map and then see how it's all playing out on your bigger screen.
It's a series that's been stuck on the portable for quite a while, and they don't really have an excuse now. So,
and then, of course, the dream one, and the one that's, because it's Squeenix, who knows, The World Ends With You. That would be epic. But like
maybe
I said,
that's what they are funding with their $30 iPad re-release.
With Square Enix, you never know. They're like, we're going to make this game, and in 12 years you might see it, and then you're going to hate it. Or, it's Kingdom Hearts, so we're going to just play with you and make you think we're going to give you an actual definitive big screen sequel, and no, just a dozen portable games that are all offshoots. But who knows? So, what other franchises do you think should be coming?
Besides all the games that are first party that I couldn't mention because I don't know.
Well, I mean, obviously, yes. We're
you
going
know.
to see eventually a Zelda, a Metroid. I'm
We're
saying
going to see a Zelda and a Metroid. That's obvious. But things that need to Star Fox, F-Zero, the things that people love and people still remember, and for some reason, the only way that we are reminded that these franchises still exist is because of Smash Brothers or Nintendo Land.
Captain Falcon, what's he from? No, I'm not going to answer that question, all right? It's called Google. Learn it. What else? What third-party stuff? Maybe other titles do you think could really get reinvigorated with the Wii U?
Anything. I just think that there's a lot of interesting things that could be done with the fact that you have a second screen. I mean, it seems stupid to keep harping on it, but...
Okay, maybe this is easier. Big franchises that have been successful on the DS and the 3DS that can now translate successfully to the couch, to the living room.
Besides Pokemon, something they'll never do.
Well, that one's obvious. Obviously, somebody doesn't like money, or we would have seen that a long time ago.
I mean, if you're going to keep on going first party, there's Animal Crossing. That is probably going to show up. I don't know, everything.
He's new to film, folks. It's okay. Putting him on the spot here. So I said this was going to be a debate, right? Well, I am going to follow through on that. And so we're going to get into the first true debate we got going here. Got 3 minutes left. You ready?
Okay.
All right. No multi-touch.
Okay.
I think this is absolute crap. You're talking about games putting maps on the second screen, and I can't pinch and zoom and do all this stuff, and it's like, multi-touch is everywhere. How do you not put it in your tablet controller?
Well, one, you have patent issues with that, and it would have increased the cost of the Gamepad. It's already expensive enough for some people. And you have 100 buttons on the outside. Multi-touch is kind of the way that they got around the fact that you only can touch the iPhone or the iPad. There's just a touchscreen. So the only way to duplicate concepts is either with virtual joysticks, or I use 3 fingers, I swipe, I do 2 fingers. But you have tons of buttons to deal with that. Scribblenauts, they allow you to zoom in, zoom out by using the bumpers.
And I still think that could just be accomplished so much easier if you could just go, okay, zoom out, then draw, instead of zoom out and then draw. It's everywhere. Multi-touch is everywhere.
I understand why it's not there. It'd be nice, but kind of splitting hairs on why we know why it's not there. It's money, and
of course that makes me wonder, because we haven't heard a price for replacement pad, if maybe they'll be bringing out the multi-touch gamepad in like a year so they can sell it up.
That's the rumor going on.
So we're going to get to my main point because we got to hurry this along. So in my opinion, I think when the Wii U launches, it will be a spectacular piece of hardware. None of the games are, of course, pulling me to go and buy it day one. I'm not pre-ordering. I'll wait until something comes down the line that I really, really want. But what I'm really worried about is in a year, because the most predictions are saying in a year we're going to see the next generation consoles come out, the real big technology hit. And let me be very clear about this point. The problem I see is that means most of your developers will switch to developing for this bigger technology, Unreal Engine 4 kind of stuff, for the new 360, the new PS3 and PC, which will then leave the Wii U back here where the Wii was, where either you got to port it down or hire a new team to create something a little different, which costs a lot more development dollars. I worry how well the Wii U will survive that. What are your thoughts on that?
It all depends on how well they market it, how easy it is to develop for. Sales and ease of development will decide which will be the actual focus platform that developers focus on. We don't know if the Wii U is amazingly easy, amazingly cheap, and works great. They might just make everything for the Wii U and up-res everything for the other stuff.
Could be.
We have no idea. I mean, just because the PS3 was more powerful doesn't mean that they made it for the PS3 first. They made it for the Xbox 360 first because it was the easiest one to develop for. And then they shifted it both ways for the two different things.
It's true. And there's a lot of scalable technology now. Unreal engines tend to scale up and down pretty easily. Crytek's engine scales up and down pretty easily. So you think that's going to help them with that? And
yeah.
So
they should.
All right. So thanks for watching, guys. Little Nintendo fan, non-Nintendo fan debate. We'll see you guys next time.